member for Kennedy.
Greg Sheridan, an excellent article this week or last week, outlined the real defence dangers to Australia. We have an alignment now of Russia, China and South Korea as a mad dog country. It can only be described that way. And Iran, a very dangerous country indeed, nearly 100 million people living there. But if you put Russia, China, Iran and North Korea together and have a look what is on the other side, well, I mean, what the Ukraine has proved is that the Europeans really have no force now whatsoever. They are irrelevant in a power equation. That leaves the United States by itself. And the insult to the Americans by the refusal to provide a ship, the current ALP government refusing to provide a ship, that will be a day of shame that will live in the memory of this country for a very long time. And for those of us that read our history books and know that this country was 2 weeks away from being invaded, and they'd given the whole of Australia, except for a narrow coastal belt, it was never the Brisbane line, it was all of Australia outside of Brisbane, Sydney and Melbourne, was given to the enemy. And as a resident, a generational resident of that area, it means a lot. Now, the current administration of the military in this country spent $40,000 million of taxpayers' money to buy 15 machine guns. Now, that'll be in keeping with a fellow that every time there is a complaint made against a soldier who's at war, heaven only knows what pressures are upon them, that they've committed some atrocity, he immediately sells them to the wolves. He is a disgrace, an absolute disgrace. And there is not a soldier in this country that has the confidence of any soldier in this country. And I don't mean the upper brass, because half of them be grovelling for promotions. $40,000 million was spent to buy 15 pieces of ordnance, 15 machine guns. It was spent on patrol boats with no ordnance capacity whatsoever outside of machine gun. And it was spent on drones that carry no ordnance, not only to not protect themselves of the drone, but also to deliver no payload against an enemy. $40,000 million gone. And I made the point in the Parliament that my platoon of 32 men that I had responsibility for, we had 15 machine guns. And I can assure you we did not cost the taxpayers any more than about $20,000. We spent $40,000 million to get 15 machine guns. And the bloke is still there. And Peter Dutton can't scream about this. He extended the bloke's contract for 2 years. After criticising him, he then extended the contract for 2 years. Mr. Acting Speaker, I mean, if you are going to defend a country, then all right, you have a first line. That's missiles. In our day and age, that is missiles, and we've got no missiles. We have no missiles. Effectively, no missiles. Then, if they break through that, you have an army. Well, we haven't even got a division. I mean, in warfare, it's all about divisions. That's history books will only talk about divisions. We haven't got a division. We haven't got one division. So much for the army. The artillery capacity, which it turns out in Ukraine, it's all about artillery, not missiles. Missiles are too expensive, so we're throwing artillery shells at each other. And of course, Russia has China, Iran and North Korea backing them. And Ukrainians have the Europeans. Well, what a joke that is. Europeans, not worth two bob. Now, Speaker, if you have the line of missiles that we need, and if you have millions of artillery shells, and if you have every boy in this country given a rifle and trained how to use it, and that rifle will be in the school armoury and later on in the town armoury. So there's 5 or 6 million rifles in this country. You pick a fight with us, you're looking at fighting 5 or 6 million guerrillas. Now, if you read history books, there is no doubt that you require 23 troops for every guerrilla fighter. And whether it's Napoleon in Spain or whether it's the Americans in Vietnam, or whether it was the Russians in Afghanistan, that's a pretty accurate figure, 23 to 1. So if you've got 5 or 6 million potential guerrillas, not even China is going to win that one. Not even China. So, Mr. Speaker, whilst, I come from a family that go way back, and of course, I'm dark and I come from Cloncurry, so there's a saying, a Murray from the Curry, so I identify very much with the first Australians, and I desperately wanted to have a Twerp on our coin instead of some little twerp from England on our coin. Utterly irrelevant, and demonstrating again that we are not growing up as a country. If we've got a foreign person on our coin and he's a monarch, either you believe all people are born free and equal or you don't. But you can't believe all people are free and equal when you've got a monarch on your coin. And you can't believe that we're a grown-up country if you've got a foreigner on our coin. Now, I'm saying, do you want Ralph Honor, who more than anyone else saved this nation from invasion on Kokoda, the 39th Battalion, the leader of the 39th Battalion, 750 men when they were relieved, 130 of them there were only 130 that were able to stand up on parade, which was better than my battalion, because we only had 28 walk out unassisted. That was all there was left of the 49th Battalion, the battalion I was in latter years. But, yeah, all right, I got a family that lost one of our sons in the First World War. We lost another son in the Second World War. We had cousins fighting in Crete and Libya and Singapore and Milne Bay, the islands, Ida Pay, Kokoda, everywhere. Yeah, all right. But look, if you've been here 10 minutes, I know people, particularly people like the Sikhs, they come here 10 minutes and they're flag-waving Australians. They are proud to be Australians, and they'll stand up and fight for this country, let there be no doubt about it. And we need more of those people in this country. But, we need missiles, we need armed drones. Yeah, all right, that's your first line of defence, and they'll break through that. They'll take immense pain. If it's a proper defence perimeter, they'll take a hell of a lot of pain breaking through it. And then there's 5 or 6 million guerrilla fighters waiting for you. You're not going to do it unless you're completely stupid and insane. But at the present moment, Greg Sheridan is right. If you look at Russia, China, and those mad countries, Iran and North Korea, who have absolutely no sense of responsibility, and you have a look at Europe, which is just a pathetic joke, then, the situation, and as the saying goes, your security depends. If you want peace, be prepared. And being an ex-Boy Scout, yeah, be prepared. Well, this country is anything but prepared. And it is a disgrace to the Liberal Party. I would be ashamed to have my name associated with that political party, and I'd be even more ashamed to have my name associated with the Labor Party. And remember, there are people who write history books. People write history books. And when they write those history books, people will spit upon your memory that you left this country in the state that it's in. Now, quite apart from that, we have no exports. You have destroyed every single export that this country has. All we got left is iron ore, coal and gas. Well, you gave the gas away, so it's gone. We get 600 million. Quaytag is 29,000 million for the same amount of gas. So forget about the gas, it's gone, you gave it away. And you're going to close down coal, and that leaves you iron ore, one single source of overseas income. What have you done to my country? What have you done to my country? What have you done to my country?
Before I go to the next speaker, I'd just make the observation to the member for Kennedy, and I may have misheard you, but at one point during your contribution, you made a comment about a twerp, and it could have been taken to have been a reference to the sovereign. It assists the House if you to withdraw that comment.
I'm shocked and horrified that I would have made that reference. Appalled, Mr. Speaker. I'm sure you misheard that.
So is that withdrawn?
Yes.
I thank the member for Kennedy for his cooperation. The question